And we can see Salzburg from here. That's Salzburg, where we'll be going day after tomorrow.
The sound of music. I would have watched that movie a zillion times as a kid, and it pretty much defined Austria to me. The hills, the songs, the magic. And today we are crossing from Bavaria onto Salzburg, where it all came to life nearly 60 years ago.
Our train just left Freilassing and we are on our way to Salzburg.
Salzburg.
You know, the city where the Sound of Music was shot and the birthplace of Mozart. Truly excited to be here. I mean, at least go there. We'll be spending a night there.
So we're literally not running to another country via train.
Yeah, for us it's a big experience, you know, crossing the border on a train. Rarely happens in our place. At Salzburg. Camper van. So that's what it is. Good room. So off to exploring. Salzburg has officially started. The city, you know, just from the face of it, you just love it. It's much more cleaner and the whole vibe is so very different. So here we are. We need to first get ourselves this public transport card for a day. So we do get these 24-hour passes at the railway station. That this basically helps you travel around Salzburg on public transports for a 24-hour period. So when you're in Salzburg, don't forget to pick this up. It's around 4.5 euros for 24 hours. We got 2 of them, and that's about it.
If you have ever watched The Sound of Music, you have already seen our first stop, the Mirabell Gardens. These picture perfect steps and fountains were the backdrop of the legendary Do Re Mi scene that brought Salzburg to the world stage. But behind this cinematic charm lies a juicy bit of history. The palace, originally called Schloss Altenau, was built in 1606 by the Prince Archbishop for his mistress and their 15 children. Later, it was renamed Mirabelle from the Italian words meaning admirable beauty, a story of love, scandal, and song all in one place. 10:30 in the morning, and we were running purely on excitement and definitely needed some break to keep the day going. Just across the street, we spotted this charming little cafe and sandwich bar, the kind of place that instantly feels inviting.
So we found out a cafe with a guy who's exceptional in the way he serviced us. And here she is. And yeah,
It's very good service. Sweet.
he's the god of service. I have to tell you that. And we ordered two cappuccinos and a ham sandwich and a veg sandwich for her. So yeah, what a vibe! What a vibe! What a vibe! The Mirabell Palace is that away. Had a very good vibe. The food was, of course, it was cold, but it was good. The cappuccino was great. We would have paid somewhere around 20 euros for it. And now we are headed to see the birth house of the famous musician Mozart here in Salzburg.
And on our way to Mozart's birthplace, we crossed the beautiful Salzach River. Calm, steady, and full of history, this very river once carried the region's white gold, salt, which powered Salzburg's wealth and gave the city its name.
So, though both Austria and Germany speak the same language, that is German, Austria has always been separated from Germany, though there has been a brief time when they were kind of united, especially when the man that we usually do not talk about around this place annexed Austria into the German Republic. Austria has, if I'm not wrong, for around 400 years was under the Habsburg dynasty. Maria Theresa, Frank Joseph, Empress Sissi or Empress Elizabeth, they all who belong to the Habsburg dynasty always ruled over Austria. I guess we have already reached Mozart's Geburtshaus, or the house where Mozart was born.
This one thing that totally caught our eye in Salzburg are those trolley buses. They are super quiet, no engine noise, and are powered by those overhead wires. The only regret is that we never got into one, even after getting the day pass. Just round the corner from the Mozart's birthhouse, we came to the famous horse pond, or the Faraday Schwemme, as it's called here. Built in the 17th century, this grand fountain was once a royal car wash of sorts, where royal horses were washed and shown off. Unfortunately, it was closed for maintenance. From there, we wandered into the peaceful courtyard of the St. Peter's Abbey, one of the oldest monasteries in the German speaking world. At its center stands the graceful St. Peter's Brunnen, a quiet little fountain that feels like it's been watching over centuries of monastic life. And just beside it stands the St. Peter's Church, a stunning blend of Romanesque origin and Baroque splendor. Step inside, and it's like walking into a golden glow. Ornate altars, frescoed ceilings, and soft candlelight reflecting off intricate gilded details. The air feels still, almost timeless, with the faint echo of organ music that seems to linger long after the notes fade. And right next to it is another piece of living history, the Stiftskeller St. Peter. Said to be the oldest restaurant in Europe, found around 803 AD, it's believed that even Charlie Maillet once dined here. Right behind the church, we wandered into St. Peter's Friedhof, the old cemetery dating all the way back to around 8th century. But honestly, calling it a cemetery doesn't quite do it justice. It feels more like a hidden garden with flowers everywhere and ivy climbing up centuries old Baroque tombs. It's peaceful, calm, and just beautiful in its really unexpected way. I think this might actually be the most beautiful garden we have ever seen in our whole trip. Quiet, timeless, and kind of magical. And if it looks familiar, that's because parts of the sound of music were inspired by this very place. The tense scene where Von Trapp family hides from the Nazis were modeled after these very catacombs.
So we got ourselves the ticket to the top, which is called Festive Hohensalzburg. We got two tickets. A ticket costs €14.50 if you're not exploring the inner areas of the palace, which I don't think we will today. But we plan to just go there and get a high point view of Salzburg. And yeah, it costs €14.50 for a person, so that means two people's almost €30, which is not too expensive but not too cheap either. So yeah, we got our tickets and we'll be going right now. Wow. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
All right.
ഭയങ്കര വ്യൂ ആയിരിക്കും കേട്ടോ.
Climbing up to where we are not sure. Goes up and up and up. Austrian flag. See the flag here. Like always, incredible view of Salzburg.
The ticket, in fact, gave us not just the ride up the Hohensalzburg Fortress, but also access to most parts of the fortress itself. A pretty good deal considering what awaited us at the top.
Andersrum, oder?
The Hohensalzburg Fortress, dating back to 1077, built by the prince archbishops who ruled the region. Inside, narrow corridors wind through thick stone walls, leading to dim rooms filled with armor, torture instruments, and old dungeons, reminders of its darker medieval past. Those colors, red, white, and red, on the Austrian flag have a story of their own. Legend says they date back to the 13th century, when Duke Leopold V returned from battle with his white tunic drenched in blood. When he removed his belt, the cloth beneath remained white, inspiring what became one of the oldest national flags in the world. The funicular that took us here itself is a piece of history. It first opened way back in 1892, making it one of the oldest in Europe. It was originally powered by water ballast, and today it runs smoothly on electricity, carrying visitors up the same hillside that once had to be climbed on foot or horseback. Back down from the fortress, we reached Residenzplatz, Salzburg's main square. And right there, the residence fountain, where Maria sang, "I have confidence in the sound of music." And before we wrap up Salzburg, there is one last thing we just had to do. Try the Salzburger Nockerl. We stopped by the Mirabell coffee bar for it. A cozy little spot that refreshingly modest compared to the usual tourist traps. Along with the Nockerl, we ordered cold coffee. And in true Austrian fashion, it arrived with a glass of water on the side. A small gesture, but one that somehow makes the whole experience feel more thoughtful. Light, sweet, and fluffy, the Nockerl really is Salzburg on a plate. Simple, warm, and just a little bit indulgent. And with that, we are heading back to our hotel. Time to rest up because tomorrow's a big day. We are off to Vienna.